What if I told you that the way people choose their partners isn't just about love? It's shaped by an instinct that's been around for centuries. Hypergamy, often described as dating up, is the idea that people, especially women, tend to seek partners with higher status, wealth, or social standing. Some see it as a natural survival strategy, ensuring stability and a better future. Others argue that it creates unrealistic expectations and makes relationships more transactional than emotional. Is hypergamy just human nature, or is it changing modern dating for better or worse? After experiencing heartbreak and disappointment in past relationships to entering the dating/single world, I've realized that I have been seeking men based on emotions rather than stability. I have been in relationship and dated men who lacks ambition, financial responsibility, which leads me to feel unsupported and exhausted, and feeling like I'm the only one carrying the relationship. Since navigating the dating world, I have stumbled upon many resources, videos, podcasts, coaches, and much more that talks about the different types of dating style and the do's and don'ts when dating. Hypergamy was one of those dating styles that made me feel very intrigued to learn more about. If you're unsure or never heard of hypergamy, on this episode, I will be discussing the negatives and positives of dating based on hypergamy and whether or not I will practice this dating style. I mean, who wouldn't want to date up and have a better sustainable life? To hear more about hypergamy, dating, and my opinions on it, keep listening because you don't want to miss this episode. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of yours truly. It is I, your one and only host, Druelee, of course. As you guys have listened to the introduction, you guys are wondering, why do I sound weird or I sound, I don't know, congested? Well, it's because at the moment when I am recording this episode, your girl is sick. I mean, not literally like sick, but it's more of when the weather is changing from cold to warm, your girl is going to be congested in the nose. She'll be coughing and all that yucky stuff. Okay. So if you guys hear me or you guys are listening to this episode and you guys can hear that my voice is changing to where it's very congested, it's because at that moment I am sick, okay? I feel fine. I don't have a fever or anything like that. It's just more of, I just have a runny nose. It's very congested with like mucus and all this yucky stuff. Along with that, my ear gets very itchy and my throat gets dry and I cough a lot. But hopefully, I don't sound too bad and you guys are able to listen to me clearly. But if you guys like my new voice change, that's even better. But hopefully this sickness can surpass. Maybe it's just a sign that Minnesota is getting warmer and we are expecting a warmer temperature. Who knows? But it is beginning of March and we're supposed to be having good weather. Okay, winter is done and over with. Thank God it didn't snow too much. I was able to travel to work in the morning with no problem, no issues. So this is like the second year that it hasn't been snowing too much in Minnesota, which is perfectly fine for me in my commute. But other than that, I am looking forward to the new weather, besides getting sick and getting coughed and all these yucky sickness that's going around. Other than that, like I mentioned in the introduction, I'm going to be talking to you guys about hypergamy. Now, if you guys listened to my last episode, Red Pill, I mentioned hypergamy. And when I pronounce that word, I pronounce it as hypergamy. Okay. This is like a brand new word that I have discovered this year. I mean, it's been around, but all these episodes that I'll be sharing with you guys are just things that I've been introduced to while I embarked in this single life or this dating world, or whatever you want to call it. And a red pill was just one of those things. Another would be hypergamy. And on that episode, when I mentioned about that, I pronounced it incorrectly. The way to pronounce this word is hypergamy, not hypergamy. Okay. So if you guys catch me switching it on and off in this episode, I'm truly sorry. I will try my best to stick to hypergamy. Okay. So let's get into it. Let me just introduce to you guys what exactly is hypergamy. So the way that people choose their partners has been shaped by a concept that's been around for centuries, one that still sparks heated debates today, and it's called hypergamy. And whether you've heard of the term before or not, chances are it's influencing modern dating more than you realize. So what exactly is hypergamy, and why does it matter in today's relationships? Let me break it down for you. At its core, hypergamy is the idea that people, historically, women, tend to marry up, seeking partners with higher social status, financial security, or overall stability. It's sometimes referred to as dating or marrying up and is often discussed in red pill and manosphere communities as a fundamental part of female nature. But is it really that simple? The concept comes from revolutionary psychology. The idea is that throughout history, women have been naturally inclined to choose mates who offer the best possible resources, protections, and genetic advantages for the offspring. Back in ancient time, this meant going for the strongest hunter or the tribal leader. In today's world, it might mean prioritizing a man with financial stability, ambition, or high social status. Now, here's where the debate gets interesting. Some argue that hypergamy is simply human nature or instinct of survival and security. They believe it's not about greed or materialism, but about making the smartest possible choice in a partner. Others, however, see it as a problem in modern dating, claiming that hypergamy creates unrealistic expectations and makes relationship transactional. Critics of hypergamy argue that it is a world where women are increasingly independent and successful. The idea of marrying up can put unnecessary pressure on men to achieve a certain level of wealth or status just to be seen as desirable. On the flip side, some say that hypergamy isn't just a female trait. Men also seek partners who level them up, whether through physical attractiveness, social status, or other desirable qualities. But here's the real question. Is hypergamy a bad thing? If we strip away the controversy, it's basically about seeking pretty much the best possible partner. And isn't that what everyone does? At the same time, when taken to extremes, hypergamy can lead to dissatisfaction, endless comparison, and an unrealistic pursuit of the next best thing. So, on this episode, I'll cover the negatives and the positive of hypergamy dating and the difference between hypergamy dating versus sugar dating, because people tend to think hypergamy dating is sugar dating when really there is a difference. So let's begin with the negative side of dating based on hypergamy. So how does hypergamy negatively impact both men and women? Let me break it down to you. Let's just start off with the woman first. How does hypergamous dating affect women negatively? There's going to be 4 points to this. The first and foremost is when women date hypergamously, it sets an unrealistic expectations and perpetuate dissatisfaction. Hypergamy often leads women to constantly seek the next best thing. A man who is wealthier, more powerful, or more successful than the last. But what happens when the better options doesn't come? No man meets every standard, or a woman is in a stable relationship but still feels like she could do better. This mindset can lead to perpetual dissatisfaction, making it hard for women to appreciate a genuinely good partner. Number 2, a shrinking pool of potential partners. As mentioned from the first one, if hypergamy means dating up, then it also means fewer available men, especially as more women become financially independent and successful. The top 10 to 20% of men are the ones most sought after, which leaves many women competing for a small percentage of partners. This results in high value men having an abundance of options and being less inclined to settle down. This can also leave many women feeling frustrated, overlooked, or constantly chasing an attainable standard. Number three, women risk of being replaced. The irony of hypergamy is that while some women seek higher value men, those same men have a power to replace them, especially as they gain more success. A man who builds wealth and status may leave his current partner behind when he later seeks a younger or more attractive partner. If a woman builds her relationship purely on a man's success and status, she might find herself vulnerable if his preferences change over time. Hypergamy can put women in a weaker long term position if their value in the relationship is based solely on the partner's perception of them. And last, number four, emotional disconnect and transactional relationships. When dating becomes about finding the high value partner, love and emotion connections often take a backseat. Women may prioritize financial stability over genuine emotional compatibility. Relationship can start to feel more like business arrangements than true partnerships. At its worst, hypergamy can strip romance out of relationships, making them conditional on status and success rather than love and connection. So those are like pretty much the main four of the negatives when women date based on hypergamy. Now, for the men, if they date based on hypergamy, what are the negatives for them, right? And again, 4 points for them. The first one would be extreme pressure to succeed. For men, hypergamy creates a relentless pressure to be the best, to earn more, to be more ambitious, and constantly improve. While self improvement is a good thing, chasing success solely for validation in dating can be mentally exhausting. Men may feel like they're never enough no matter how much they achieve. Let's say if they lose their job, they face setbacks, or experience financial struggles, they may fear losing their partner. Hypergamy can make relationships feel conditional, where a man's worth is only as strong as his ability to provide. Number two, men will feel used or unappreciated. Some men in hypergamous relationships feel like they are valued only for the money, status, or success rather than their personality, loyalty, or emotional qualities. As a successful man might question, does she love me or does she love me for what I provide? If a woman is only with him for his resources, it can create a lack of trust and emotional depth in the relationship. This can leave men feeling disposable, especially if they believe the partner will leave if a better option came along. Number three, they feel the increased risk of being exploited. Some men attract the wrong type of woman in hypergamous dating. Those who are more focused on financial gain than emotional connection, expecting an expensive lifestyle without bringing value to the relationship, and jumping from one wealthy man to the next, rather than committing to a long term relationship. While not all women practice hypergamy this way, men who date purely based on wealth and success may find themselves used, drained, and constantly questioning about their worth beyond their bank account. And last but not least, men will feel less emotional fulfillment in a relationship. Hypergamy often leads to powerful imbalances where men feel like they have to constantly maintain dominance and feeling superior in the relationship. Some men feel they can't show vulnerability because it might make them look weak. Others feel that if they experience a setback, they'll lose their partner's attraction or loyalty. This prevents deep emotional connections from forming, making relationships feel more like a status driven competition rather than a genuine partnership. So, those are the negatives when it comes to men and women dating the hypergamous way. And while hypergamy can encourage people to strive for success to seek high value partners. It also creates pressure, unrealistic expectations, and emotional disconnection. For women, the risk is never feeling satisfied, struggling to find suitable partners, and being seen as replaceable. For men, the challenge is constant pressure to succeed, feeling used for status, and struggling to build emotionally fulfilling relationships. But at worst, hypergamy turns dating into a transactional game where love is secondary to power, wealth, and status. So, is hypergamy making dating better, or is it making it harder for people to find genuine connections? I don't know, but I'll let you guys know my opinions towards the end of this episode. But now that I covered the negative side of dating in hypergamy as a man and woman, let's get into the positives when you do actually date based on hypergamy. How does hypergamy benefit both men and women in the positive way? Let's start off with the woman first. And again, there will be four main points of the positive for women dating in hypergamy. The first and foremost is when a woman dates based on hypergamy, it provides them with financial and emotional security. Women who date hypergamously often find themselves in relationships where they feel secure, both financially and emotionally. A partner who is ambitious, stable, and driven offers a future with fewer struggles and more opportunities. This isn't just about money, okay? Let's make that clear. It's not about money, it's about having a partner who can provide a stable foundation for a successful life together. For number two, women set higher relationship standards. Hypergamy encourages women to be selective, ensuring they don't settle for relationships that lack ambition or direction. This leads to better long term compatibility when men who share the vision for the future and more fulfilling relationship dynamics, where both partners bring value to the table. By setting high standards, women can assure partners who are not only successful, but also emotionally and mentally strong. Number three, hypergamy encourages women to work on their own personal growth. Here's the secret: hypergamous women don't just take, they bring value too. A woman seeking a high value partner often works on herself by improving her social intelligence and communication skills, taking care of her physical and mental well being, building her own goals and ambitions, and ensuring she's an asset to the relationship. Rather than waiting for a man to save her or to do everything while she just sits and, relax and whatnot, right? A hypergamous woman focuses on self improvement, making her a high value partner in return. And then the last point, number four, women have access to better opportunities. When women date hypergamously, they often gain access to a better lifestyle, smarter financial decisions, and stronger social connections. This can lead to personal development through exposure to successful mindsets, networking opportunities that can help her grow in her career or personal life, and better relationship experiences where emotional intelligence and long term planning plays a key role. At its best, hypergamy allows women to pretty much level up, and not just in dating, but in life. So, what are the positives for men when they are dating hypergamously? Four main points for them, which is first and foremost, number one, it actually motivates men to achieve more. Hypergamy pushes men to be better, basically. If high value women are attracted to ambition, leadership, and success, then men who want to succeed in dating must step up. This can lead to career growth and financial success, increased self confidence and social status, and a competitive edge, making them more attractive to potential partners. Rather than complaining about hypergamy, men who embrace it can use it as motivation to level up and become high value individuals. Number two, they have more feminine, supportive partners. When a man reaches a certain level of success, he attracts women who admire and respect his leadership. Hypergamy naturally creates a relationship where women appreciate a man's drive and achievements. Men receive emotional support and encouragement from a partner who values his role and the relationship dynamic becomes balanced, with each partner playing an importance in the role. Instead of struggling in relationships where roles are constantly challenged, men in hypergamous relationships often enjoy stability, appreciation, and respect. Number three, a legacy mindset. High value men don't just want casual relationship. They want to build something meaningful. Hypergamous dating encourages men to plan for the future rather than living aimlessly, attract women who aligned with their vision for success and family, and leaving behind a legacy, whether through financial stability and family or societal impact. When a man embraces hypergamy in a positive way, he isn't just chasing wealth, he's creating a life of purpose and meaning. And number four, the last one, men who date hypergamously often find themselves in a relationship that enhances their lives. These relationships tend to be less stressful as both partners understand their roles more fulfilling, since high value women encourage and support their partners, and more successful as both individuals push each other to be their best. At its core, hypergamy doesn't just benefit women, it also creates men who are stronger, more ambitious, and more purpose driven. So, those are the four main points of men who happen to date hypergamously and the positive of actually dating that way. So, just final thoughts on that. Despite all the criticism, hypergamy isn't just about women seeking wealthy men. It's just about both partners striving for excellence. Women get security, ambition, and a partner with leadership qualities, while men get motivation, purpose, and supportive relationships. When approached with balance and self awareness, hypergamy isn't a bad thing. It's pretty much a strategy for creating high value, successful relationships where both partners bring something meaningful to the table. So, what do you guys think about this? Does hypergamy create stronger relationships or does it set unrealistic expectation? Would you consider dating up to be able to live a lifestyle you desire? Because I know I would. But just let me know if you think dating this way could be a possible way to have a different lifestyle or having a successful lifestyle or a better life. Just let me know. But now that I cover both the negative and positives of men and women dating based on hypergamy, the next portion of this episode I'll be discussing is the difference between hypergamous dating and sugar dating. As I explore the hypergamous dating world, I often find it to be similar to sugar dating. However, there is a slight difference between the two. Hypergamy dating and sugar dating may look similar on the surface, but when you actually dig deeper, their motivations, expectations, and long term outcomes couldn't be more different. So, what exactly sets them apart, and which one, if any, leads to a better relationship? Let me break it down for you guys. So, you guys already know what hypergamy dating is, but what is sugar dating? I'm just going to cover a little bit of it just because this episode is not all about sugar dating. But if you guys want me to do a separate episode on that and what I found out about this type of dating, I will definitely do a separate episode on that. But I'm just going to cover a little bit of it. But what exactly is sugar dating? Sugar dating is more transactional, okay? It involves a clear exchange. Typically, a wealthier individual, which is the sugar daddy or the sugar mommy, provides financial benefits, gifts, or lifestyle perks in exchange for companionship, attention, or sometimes a romantic or intimate relationship. Unlike hypergamy, which is about long term value and security, sugar dating is more about short term arrangements where both parties have clear expectations. The sugar baby may receive financial assistance, mentorship, or experiences they wouldn't otherwise afford, while the sugar provider enjoys companionship without the deep emotional or long term commitments of a traditional relationship. So, those are the two differences between hypergamy dating and sugar dating. And so, with that being said, I want to give you guys like the four key differences between both of them. The difference between both of these dating style is that number one, the longevity of it. As I mentioned, hypergamy is typically about finding a long-term partner for marriage or a committed relationship, while sugar dating often involves short-term, mutually beneficial arrangements. Number two, emotional connection. Hypergamy is rooted in relationship building, choosing a partner based on qualities that ensures a stable future. But as for sugar dating, while it can involve real emotions, it's often focused on financial support and lifestyle benefits. And number three, the expectations. Hypergamy follows natural selection principles, choosing partners based on stability, ambition, and compatibility. Sugar dating, on the other hand, is more direct. Both parties know what they're getting and what they're expected to give. And the last one, number four, the power dynamics. While hypergamy involves seeking a higher status partner, it doesn't necessarily mean there's an explicit exchange of money or gifts. In sugar dating, however, financial support is a core component of the relationship. So, if we were to ask ourselves which one is better, well, that depends on what you're looking for. If you want a relationship built on stability, long term commitment, and mutual growth, then hypergamous dating is probably the better path. But if you're just looking for a short term arrangement where both parties benefit financially and emotionally, then sugar dating might make sense for you. The biggest difference is intentions. Hypergamy is about choosing a partner based on value and future security, while sugar dating is more about an immediate exchange of benefits. So, what do you think? Is hypergamy just a more socially accepted form of sugar dating, or are they completely different? Again, let me know if you guys have any opinions about the difference between hypergamous dating and sugar dating, because I do see that there's a difference between both of them. But again, I'm just scratching the surface when it comes to sugar dating. I will definitely do a different episode of that if you guys have an interest in my thoughts on that type of dating style. But with that being said, you guys know a little bit about hypergamy and the main reason why people rather date up versus dating down, or you dating someone on the same level. And here's my opinion on this. After watching a lot of videos, a lot of people who actually are currently practicing this type of dating style, I've come to a point where this is not really a bad idea to do. And you guys have to remember, when you date someone up, that doesn't mean that you're a gold digger. That doesn't mean that you're only dating a guy for his money. So looking at it in a woman's perspective, because I'm a woman myself, if I were to date up, I definitely want to date a guy who is financially stable, who has money, who has a job, gets paid more than me, who is able to pay for my bills, my living expense, and all of that, okay? And if you guys are listening to this and you guys are saying, wow, Drew, you're so narrow-minded, you're really selfish, you are a gold digger, no. And the reason why I would rather date in this type of style, hypergamous style, is because in my background growing up, my family, we weren't rich. Okay, we were not middle class. We're not I don't know, rich class, whatever you would call it, upper higher class. We're actually the lower class. I grew up being poor, and having both parents who worked, who was never in no food stamps, no living assistance or anything like that. Both of my parents worked and had a full-time job. On top of that, they had 10 of us. And then 7 years later, they end up having my younger sister. So there was 11 of us. So imagine having all these kids and not getting paid the amount that you would want to get paid, to try to navigate life and be able to be an adult, provide for your own family, and trying to keep up with the bills. And there have been times in my family where I've experienced having the water turned off, having the electricity turned off, and it was very embarrassing. And I come to the point where I don't want that to happen to me. And being an adult myself, living on my own, I always make sure that I pay my bills on time. I make sure that my rent is paid on time. Water bills, electricity, anything that is essential to me living in this world. I make sure that I get it paid on time because I do not want to relive the kind of life that I live with my family or with my parents. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they had a very hard time keeping up with the bills, and we were struggling. In my previous relationship, when I was in that cultural marriage, like, yeah, I felt like, there have been times where we were late on our bills, and it's got to a point where I was so worried about it. And I'm the type of person where I don't like to ask people for help, nor do I want to owe people money. And if it has to come to that point, it's very embarrassing, you guys. And I'm just being honest and blunt here. Is that's how I felt. I just want to make sure that I cover my butt. And to be with someone or to be with a man who cannot provide that for me, I just feel like I don't have respect for you and I cannot rely on you. You're not someone that I can lean on to. And unfortunately, I was stupid enough to continue in that relationship. Then I know better. Like, I would rather date a guy who has money. I'm sorry to say. You have to be realistic here. We live in this world where everything is increasing, inflation is increasing, rent is freaking expensive, buying a house is expensive, everything is raising up. And when things are getting more expensive, how are we as an adult am able to live, especially on our own? Like, I don't mind getting roommates, but because I've been living on my own for so long that I'm so used to my own company, my own mess, like, I would rather just live on my own than to have roommates. But just think about it. Like, in modern day time now, everything is expensive. So if I were to date a guy or be in a relationship with another guy, he has to have money. I'm sorry. It is what it is. On top of that, I know for a fact that if I have kids, I want my kids to be in a household where both parents are there. And let's say my future husband is not there and he's busy doing his work or whatever. That's totally fine. But I'm just going to be real. I know my parents are not going to be there to help raise my kids or to help me take care of my kids. It's just the fact that, my parents are not mentally there, and they're getting old, and I'm not going to bring up a child in this world knowing that I need their help. It's good to ask your parents for help, but you have to understand that you guys decided to bring a child up into this world. And when you no longer have those parents or those support system, how are you going to deal with taking care of your kids? Me and what I've been through and knowing my parents, I know that I cannot depend on my parents to watch my kids. I can't depend on my siblings or my friends. If it comes to a point where I have to depend on them, then I will definitely reach out. But for the most part, I cannot rely on my parents. I just can't because they're not mentally there. And with that, I have to find a man who can provide for us 100%, and I have to be a stay-at-home mom. That's the only way. Because now that there's so many news out there about daycare, like, there's like news around where in the present daycare area, a lot of kids are being abused by the teacher or the staff that's working in daycare. I'm not gonna deal with all that shit. Like, I'd rather just take care of my kids, be a stay-at-home mom for the time being, and then eventually jump back and work again. Of course, I will find a way to, find work at home, but in the meantime, to think of my life realistically, I can't be working at home while taking care of my kids. I need a partner who will have to work and provide for us financially. That way, I can take care of our kids. I don't expect him to build a relationship with his kids. If he chooses not to do it, that's on him. But for me, if I know that I'm bringing a child to the world, I have to do what I need to do to take care of them. On top of that, if you guys are listening to this and you guys are saying that I'm very shallow and I'm very narrow-minded and all that stuff, I'm a gold digger. No. The fact is that a lot of women are dating up or are thinking about choosing to date hypergamously is because they want to be protected, they want to be safe, and they want to be able to know that the man that they are with is providing them the lifestyle that they need. If those women grew up in a household where they were poor, they're not gonna want to be with a guy who is gonna make them more poor, or it's not gonna support them financially. And yeah, I've come to a point where love is not enough. As much as we all want to be in love and fall in love and be with this person, but love is not enough. Like, you have to find someone that fits your lifestyle, someone who can provide for you, and it is what it is. And if you are a man and you think that I am very, like I said, narrow minded, very greedy, gold digger, but I could be a gold digger, but if you're a type of guy where you can't keep your dick inside of you and you rather sleep with other women, then you will hope. So if you surround yourself, or a woman who rather date guy for his money and you don't like that, ask yourself, are you willing to be with one woman for the rest of your life and have sex with her for the rest of your life? You will say no. So if that's the case, then you can have your cake and eat it, while she can have her cake and eat it too. My thing is this: if she wants to be with a guy who has money, who can provide her with money, stability, financial stability, and you're not that type of guy that can make that kind of money, then it's okay for her to reject you. That means you got to do better, or that means that she's not for you. That doesn't mean that she is a gold digger. She just knows what she wants. If you're the guy where, yes, you have all these money and you can provide for a woman, would you rather be with someone who is ugly looking, who doesn't have a brain of her own, who doesn't have anything for herself? No, you wouldn't want to be with someone like that. You want to be with someone who's ghetto? No, you want to be with no woman who's like that. You want someone who is kind of the same as your level, who's ambitious, who wants to grow within herself, wants to grow within the relationship, and who respects you, right? Okay, in order for you to get that woman, it's kind of like you guys have to exchange that as well. What I'm trying to say is this: a woman cannot be a gold digger if a man himself is a hoe. That's how I see it. You cannot bash a woman saying that she's a gold digger, she wants want men for money. But you yourself, you want to sleep with multiple women, have multiple partners. Even if you're married and you still want to fuck other girls and have numerous partner, or be in a polygamous relationship, then you do you while she do her. That just means that you guys are not meant for each other. Don't get mad because she wants you for money. Because if a woman understands how men are, and she understands that a guy will never be committed to one woman, then what's she gonna get out of this relationship? Financial benefits. That's it. That's how I see it. But okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. But that's just my opinion about dating up and the hypergamous dating lifestyle. I'm for it. That doesn't mean I'm a gold digger. It's just that I was in a relationship before, and I've dated guys, and when you are with someone who cannot provide security, protection, what else? You feel like you have to be masculine and you have to protect yourself. Why would you want to be in that kind of relationship with a guy? Right? But on top of that, you don't have to wait for a guy to protect you. You don't have to wait for a guy to financially provide for you. You can do all of that on your own, woman. Listen, woman. You can do all that by yourself. But if you are still wanting to find a partner, to have a family, and to be financially secure, definitely date up. Date a man who is pretty much above you, and yeah, do better. Like, don't date no guy who is a dusty. Don't date a guy who doesn't have a job. Don't date a guy who wants to move in with you and expect you to pay for everything. No, you need a man to pay for you and your stuff, okay? Because you know why? Men, you need to listen up. A woman feel more secure, and she will respect you more if you provide her financially. It is what it is. Women go for money, men go for sex. If you both can offer both of those at the same time, great, even better. The relationship will work. And let's say if you're not willing to give her money, but you want sex, no, she's not going to give you sex. Woman, you need to do better too. Just because a guy is not willing to give you money, that doesn't mean you open your legs out for a man to sleep with you. No. I know it can be kind of hard to say no, but still, the power is your pussy, okay? I'm just saying, like, if you want the relationship to work, you gotta give that even exchange. Like, you can't just give one of the other to that person. No. Okay. But yeah, other than that, I hope I hope my opinions on this make sense to you guys. Kudos to anybody who wants to date up. I highly recommend you guys to do that. Yeah, you want a successful relationship, just date someone who you can respect, who you, I don't know, can benefit from each other, but ultimately just be able to have a successful life in general. But if not, you can more welcome to just be single like me and enjoy that life, because I sure do like my single life. But yeah, I'm just rambling on right now. But I hope you guys learned a few things about hypergamy, and of course, I will definitely do a post on my website on this episode, give you guys a bit more information on hypergamy, give you guys videos, clips, and all that stuff for you guys. That way, it's easier for you guys to get more information on that. And on top of that, you guys are more than welcome to research this type of dating style. It's all over the internet. And there's other people that actually coach people to date in this type of lifestyle. But all in all, I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that my congested voice wasn't annoying. But I hope you guys are having a great day. The weather is finally getting warmer, and yeah, I hope you guys learn a thing or two about this. I like in the future, I will be pushing out a lot of things that I've been learning as I am embarking in this dating world, right? Or this singleness or this self love journey, right? Because there's just so much that is happening out in the world, and I'm learning a lot of new things, and these are just interesting things that I just want to share with you guys, because I know some of you guys are not aware of certain things that is going on in the single world. And for me, I did not know that certain things existed, and I'm now finding out about these things after my previous relationship, and just being curious as always. And I just wanted to share what I've known and give you guys my opinions. We can agree to disagree. Some things that I've learned are good things, some things are not, but I'm just gonna take things with a grain of salt and just go from there. But I hope that you guys are enjoying my episode as of now. Definitely will do a lot of single self love episodes for you guys, that where you guys can work on yourself and become the best version of yourself. And yeah, other than that, that is all for this episode, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.